Hello, I'm Nirmala Prabhu, an edupreneur, and I enable parents of toddlers to teenage to understand their child's talents and inner capabilities and follow some of the best parenting techniques through parenting workshops. I conduct a lot of parenting workshops, memory workshops, study skills, and I'm a career counselor too. Today, I'm starting a series of videos with women in education, women in business, and women as parents. And in this endeavor, my first guest today is a very, very dynamic lady who is multifaceted. She has handled education, spiritual growth, etc. And she is a sort of a mentor or a go-to person when I have any problems because I feel very soothing when I speak to her. So, without further ado, I would just like to call upon Tensi Putran. Hi, Tensi.
Hi Nirmala.
How are you today?
Yeah, I am very much enthusiastic day today and Ganesha Chaturthi and I'm with full awe.
Yeah, so it's such a wonderful day to start my videos, and you're the first person, and I know Tensi since past 10 years, and we met at a spiritual gathering. She talk about it later, and I think we almost got together immediately. We got attracted to each other immediately, and she's my go-to person whenever I have any problem, even from US also. I used to call her and I used to take a counsel from her. So before I start, I would like Tensi to speak a little about yourself, Tensi, so that our viewers get to know about you.
Okay. So me Tensi Puturan is Kerala based and I have a life behind me as a nun, then got married, then into school for 25 years as an English teacher. And I have been with the children for a long, long time, and I love to be with them. And I have a nice family now, and along with my profession, I do the pranic healing and access conscious facilitator, bars running, etc. I also teach online English, and I feel sometimes proud of myself, and I believe that I am a proud mother too.
Yeah, even we are very proud of you, Tensi, for the work you do. And so today I will be talking. I know you're multifaceted. I can talk to you on any topic, but today I'll be talking mainly to you about children because you have been so closely associated with children. And in the series of parenting, I would like to speak to parents who are, having a job and how they, have how they have their handle their children. So, can I put up my first question to you?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So the first question that I would like to say is nowadays children want freedom and they don't want to be bonded by any parental pressure. So what do you think about that? What is the level of freedom that we can give our children?
I love this question very much because um, when we were small, we were limited to certain things which our parents wanted us to do. And we have been doing it and we lived for them. I think I lost my childhood and the way I should have been brought up by myself, not by my parents, choosing my own things, which I have lost. This, I think, I given the best for my son. I have only one son, and we were just a middle class family, even now. But then I think I'm proud to provide him what he wanted and not what I wanted. So he went on in his childhood doing as many things as possible, whether I like it or not. He loved it. So, for example, he wanted to go out of the house for some competitions or something, I was ready to send him. It was very difficult for any mother to send the child out uh, from their vicinity, that the child get lost, or they'll have bad friends, or they will misuse their talents or whatever. I was very happy to send him out, and I loved him evolve that way. So that freedom was completely given to him to go out of the house. That was one. Secondly, he messed up his room, which I never scolded him at all. I used to enter into the messed up room and say, "Hi, son, what you are doing now? Are you studying or some?" Just look at him, come back with a nice look at the things around him, and give a nice smile and come out. And with that smile, I would speak volumes to him. And after 2 days, I will not go the next day or the same day. After 2 days, I go into the room. I see the room spick and span, so beautifully arranged. I could see a money plant in his room that day. I was wondering, how did the money plant come there? He understood that I wanted the home to be neat because he has seen all other rooms. He has been seeing me doing many things. But somewhere, maybe he was a little bit procrastinating. Maybe he wanted to do it. But then I gave him a choice to choose how his room should be. And in his age of 8, he used to do a lot of things at home, and I allowed him to do. I never restricted him, telling that you are a boy, don't do this, you should be doing this, nothing. He did even the mopping the floor and washing. When I washed the vessels, he used to wipe them and arrange and leave. And I used to give him a choice to do anything he wanted. He used to ask me, "Shall I do this, mom, for you? Shall I do that, mom, for you?" And I used to allow him. I never thought that it's the time constraint, or it's going to be messed up, or it's going to be dirty, or something like that. So I have given the best freedom for in his childhood. So
Yeah.
to come up to, yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So, do you think, that when children make mistakes, okay, um, what is the best way to handle? You have just now said it was not a mistake, but now you said he procrastinated. But suppose they actually make mistakes, like for example, they get into a company of friends and they do something which is not to be done. So, how do you
So
think you should handle it?
yeah, so when we say, when you are told me that it should not be done, it is our point of view. Maybe they had a curiosity to see what it is. So that curiosity, if we stop them, they will live in that curiosity. When they go and test what exactly it is and they get hurt, that is when they identify that is the thing is bad or good. They choose it themselves. If
Right.
we control them, they live in that curiosity. So we are not allowing them to be themselves. They have to get hurt and learn. So for example, when we ride a cycle, we don't immediately ride a cycle until we fall 15 times. We allow ourselves to fall to see that we get a proper balance. It's just like that. It's so simple. Allow them to do, even if it is drugs, even if it is going to be a smoking or drinking or whatever it is, even it could be a sexual activity too. They get hurt, and that hurt will teach them. It is life teaching. We need not go behind them telling that, "Oh son, you're smoking. Arey Baba, it's okay. You can smoke." See the nasha, feel the body reactions, how you start feeling disgusted with the smoke. That is when you learn. Allow them to do that. I'm very proud to tell this loudly. My son has gone through all this. He has gone into a stage where he has come to a depression stage where he thought that he was doing a mistake. Then he realizes that is a mistake. That is when we approach them and tell, "It's okay, son, I have forgiven you. You know now this is a mistake. Now let's do something better than this." That is when the mom is really going to be a support for him. If we have been controlling him, "Oh, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that," and then we become his policeman, and we are very much behind him, checking him what he is doing, he can never be himself then.
Yeah.
Allow him to be himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, but people may differ in their views about that because nowadays we see that parents are overprotective about their children and they want them not to do this, not to do that because there's a big bad world outside, and you feel that your child might get into something wrong. But there are cases even where people have gone into it, deep into it, and they have not been able to come out of it. So, another thing which I would like to ask you here is that we follow, as Indians, we follow a lot of traditions. We have religious beliefs, we have customs, we want everyone to do, our children to do this and to do that, everything. So, how much do you think in this present era it is important for a child to follow everything that their parents lay out for them, whether it is religion, whether it is eating habits, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Some people have dressing that you can't wear this, you can't wear that. So, what do you think about that, Tensi?
To tell you about this, I am an open mother. I am a lady of change right from the beginning. I love change. Basically, I love change, which I have not got. So me being a Roman Catholic, we have a traditional way of going on Sundays for Mass, celebrating the festivals, getting together with the relatives and all that. So when my son was small, I used to take him out, take him to all my relatives' house, all the churches, wherever we have to go and all that. As he grew up, maybe when he was somewhere around 14, 15-year-old, I used to ask him, do you want to go to church? Is it okay for you to go to church? Do you really want to go to church? So when I asked this, he has a choice. He started thinking, should I be a Christian? Why don't I accept any other religion? But I'm proud to tell you today that my son is an atheist. He doesn't even believe the concept of God. He has not seen it. I have not seen. I've seen you. Shall I call you God? He says sometime. And I feel that's true what he says sometime. Um, I'm not against God. I'm also a spiritual person. It's his choice. I leave it to him. And the traditions, what we follow, all the festivals, need not be true at all. We have brought it from our ancestors. We are carrying it around as a rules and regulations for us. We are bounded to it. There is nothing called freedom for we couldn't come out of it because we had that era where we were living, we had a strict way of following all those things. So fasting, going to church, doing the way of the crosses, and so many other stuff in Roman Catholic or whatever religion we are following. We have a lot of rules for it. So for my son, I have given him a choice. Of course, baptism is done for him. He is got into the church. He is a member of the church. He has received his Holy Communion. Still, now it's his choice whether to accept a religion. That is one. Secondly, now he's a growing up boy. Marriage also is a choice for him. I have left it to him. He is already 26. It is time actually as a traditional mother to start searching out girls for him, or at least allow him to marry the girl whom he wants. But I have thrown it to him, asking whether marriage is mandatory for him or not. Only then he starts up with his ambitions, telling that I have a lot of ambitions ahead to achieve, or he want to do many things in his life. Marriage can be an obstruction until and unless he get the right choice. So he says, why should we have a lot of population on this earth? Why don't I remain unmarried? And if that is okay for you, I say, it is nothing to be okay for me or not. It is your choice. So that's the level of relaxing the traditional things what we have. So I have given that choice also. So that is marriage and tradition and the religion and the dressing. You can dress anything you want. Dress up however you want. Not necessarily you have to be with the pant and shirt alone. You can wear a dhoti and a shirt or a pajama, and anything is okay for you. You can tie a band on your hair and walk. No problem. No one calls you anything for it. Even if someone has to call you or address you something, or they are going to comment you something, it is their point of view. You need not even have to your mind about what others are speaking about you. It is about you living your life, whatever tradition you want to follow. Not even want to copy, maybe something it's new. You can do that. It's freedom.
That's nice to hear that there are some parents like that in today's world, and world is evolving, but there are some
Yeah.
people who want to keep their tradition, and it is their choice. I mean, it's
Choice.
ultimately it is their choice of others. So now I would like to ask you one more question. Is every parent, every mother especially, and every father also, they want to give their 100% to their child, and they do it in some different ways. Some of them will buy them whatever they want, some of them will do it through love, some of them will give them time. So is there anything called giving your 100%, and or can you compromise on that, and how can you do it if you want to do it?
Okay. So when I say 100%, my 95% of my 100% is silence. I love to give my silence to my son, because in silence, I think I speak a lot of a big volume of things in myself. That is what I have understood. That is what I have been through. Even now, many times when he comes with some new ideas or something, I might not be able to understand what he is speaking also. I cannot comment over that. Neither can I give a suggestion over that. Neither can I advise him also. So what I do is I look at him, I smile. Okay, let's see. You work upon it. So that's the 100% I can give him. If I start suggesting things, it'll be my choice and my way of bringing up. That doesn't become 100%. My 100% will be the freedom what he enjoys. I have brought him to this world. I have showed him the stage. I put him on the stage. I sit back and watch is my 100%. So in any matter, so whatever he wants, he is asking me. Whatever is possible for me, I provide him. When I say it's not, I'm not able to provide, I may have many reasons also for it. For example, gadgets. When he was small, I was not able to give any of the gadgets right now what children are using. Today, he is able to get his own gadgets, and he's doing a lot of things with that, which I was not able to provide him in his small age. But today's children, they are born with the gadgets. They are open to the entire thing on the earth. They don't even want their parents sometime. They want to be alone because they have all these gadgets around them. They are still learning, they are still evolving. But parents think they are addicted. I don't know how they use that word addicted, but I don't think any child is misusing the gadgets in today's world. They are always curious and they're born with that curiosity. So if you can give your 100%, is your quiet silence watching from the behind. There may be times when children shout at you and they abuse you, talking, what have you done for me in your life? And see those children, these children, they compare, talk, all those things. But then you don't give them any answers. When you give an answer, you pick up an argument, then there is the rapport goes and you become an enemy for your child. And they start thinking you or getting you into their mind as a person who is always finding fault or scolding or giving advice or not allowing to do anything. When you just on those moments of arguments, if we can have that silence, when we prepare ourselves to become a silent person, look at him, smile, and say, okay, son, I think you are right, and leave it. After half an hour, they'll come back to you telling, no, mom, what you said was right. I was just thinking over it. I worked over it. I think this is right. Well, that's good. Be happy about it. That is where I pat my back and say, wow, Tensi, you've done a great job. We need
Yeah.
not get certificate from anywhere else. This small moments when they come and share and tell us, mom, you are right. That is where we are happy. That is the certificate we carry. That is the 100% we get. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you rightly made a point that, children might not be happy with the way you have brought them up, but they should realize that whatever you have done for them is for their own good. And sometimes you need to use certain different things, different ways by which you can correct them. You used your silence. That is a very, very good way of using it, and it was very effective, as you said. And I hope that mothers who are not able to use their silence can use another very effective way
Yes,
on
of
how they
course.
can. Yeah, so everyone has their different way. Thank you so much, Tensi, for this wonderful time that I had with you. I always enjoy your company.
Very
Still,
happy, Nirmala. This is a great opportunity for me to speak about me and my motherhood. I am very happy to be a very nice parent, and I'm proud to be a mom for my son. I think he also put up some time back on the Facebook about his mom. There is a big write up on his mom. I was not aware because I am not in his friend list, you see. He don't want me to be. So I have not been there, but he has written a big write up. And one of my sister, when I went home for one celebration, then she started reading up. Oh, from where are you reading? I said, this is your son's write up. I was shocked.
oh,
That
oh,
was the 100% I can again say. I am very proud of it.
yeah, thank you. And Tensi is very, very good at other things also. And I hope to have Tensi back because you do a lot of pranic healing and things for children. So this series are revolved around children and parents. And I'll be calling you back again. And, I'll be taking one by one some this from your treasures that you have. And
I'm always ready.
thank you
Always.
so much, Tensi. And have a good day and happy Ganesha. And
Happy.
thank you for being my first person to start. And I still miss our get togethers every month. We used to meet and, at Brigade Road and have a cup of tea and
Of
discuss
course.
all that I miss. So
We
thank you
can't miss
so
our
much.
Matthew.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Tensi. Thank you.
Bye.